I deliver lost time. Don't open the box. People think time only moves forward. They're wrong. Sometimes it gets misplaced. And when it does, I'm the one who brings it back. I work for a company you've never heard of. We don't have a name, just a symbol. A circle, broken at the top, like an open clock. We don't advertise. We don't need to. People don't call us. Time calls us. Most of my deliveries are simple. A black cube, usually warm to the touch, about the size of a shoebox. The instructions are always the same. 1. Do not open the box. 2. Deliver to the recipient listed. 3. Do not look them in the eye. 4. Return before the hour resets. I used to ask questions, now I don't. After what happened in Montana, the delivery was marked high sensitivity. Rural house, coordinates only, no name. A single box, humming faintly, with a faint gold mist seeping from the edges. I'd never seen one leak before. My watch began ticking backward the second I picked it up. When I arrived, the place looked abandoned, boarded windows, mail piling up. But there was a light on in the attic. I rang the bell. No answer. Then the door creaked open. No one on the other side. I stepped in and called out. That's when I heard crying. It came from the attic. I climbed the narrow stairs, holding the box in both hands. It was heavier now. The ticking in my watch grew louder with every step. By the time I reached the door, it sounded like a metronome slamming in my skull. The crying stopped. Then a voice, my voice, whispered from behind the door. You're too late. I should have turned and run. But the box pulsed in my arms like a heart. The lock on the door clicked open. Inside, a woman sat on the floor, rocking back and forth. She looked maybe 50, but her eyes were ancient, starved of time, if that makes sense. All around her, clocks hung on the walls, hundreds of them. None of them ticked. I held out the box. Delivery. She didn't move. I set it down and turned to leave. That's when she spoke. Did he beg you to? I froze. Who? She pointed at the wall. At a photo of a boy. Maybe 6 years old, blonde, smiling. My son, she said. I gave him 5 extra minutes. I didn't understand. What do you mean? She stood slowly, bones creaking. He drowned, in 2002. I screamed for help, but no one came. And then, one day, the box showed up. A man in a coat, just like yours. He said I could have 5 minutes back. Just 5. And you opened it? She nodded. And? She smiled sadly. He drowned again. And again. Every night. Same 5 minutes. Sometimes he calls for me. Sometimes he laughs. Sometimes he just floats. She looked me in the eye. You brought him back wrong. I turned to leave. The box was open. Inside, a dripping, waterlogged watch, still ticking, and a small, pale handprint burned into the lining. My own hands were soaked. I ran to my car and drove until sunrise. When I got back to headquarters, they wiped my memory. At least, they tried. But you can't erase time that's already been delivered. Since then, I've seen things no one should. A woman who ordered 12 seconds of her dead husband's breath. A boy who wanted to hear his dog bark again. A man who paid to relive the moment before he pulled the trigger every night for years. All of them open the box eventually, they always do. But last night, I delivered one to my old address, my childhood home. There was no name, just a sticky note on the top. Do not open until your mother dies. She died 10 years ago. I called HQ, no answer. I sent the return code. It bounced. The box began to hum. I tried to throw it out, bury it, burn it. It always comes back. Sitting at the foot of my bed, waiting. Sometimes I hear voices from inside, my mother's mostly. Sometimes mine, laughing, screaming, begging. I haven't opened it, but I will. I have to. Because last night, I heard a new voice. One I haven't heard in decades. My brother's. He died when we were kids. Fell through the ice. I watched it happen. I never forgave myself. He said, it wasn't your fault. You didn't let go. I did. He died before I knew that. Before I ever told anyone what really happened. So now, I'm sitting in the dark. The box on my lap. Ticking. I know what they told me. I know the rules. But what if it's not a punishment? What if it's a second chance? What if 5 minutes is enough?